flintlock was invented, the matchlock was in use. And honestly, the matchlock was almost as good as the flintlock in many ways. For instance, if I was armed with a flintlock musket, on a day like today, I would be telling you, folks, now remember, just because the weapon didn't go off doesn't mean I'm dead. I still have a bayonet. And I got a lot of friends fighting with me. But I don't have to say that, because I got a matchlock. It's a little more reliable in wet weather. You might say that the matchlock musket is as reliable as a Powhatan bow and arrow in wet weather. Because when the bowstring gets wet, the bow isn't much good either. So, what happens when you pull the trigger? The burning cord swings down and the hot coal comes into contact with the powder, making this a very reliable weapon. The burning cord will set off gunpowder wherever it finds it, whether it's the gunpowder in your pan, a gunpowder in one of your chargers. If you accidentally left the lid off and the ember fell in the charger, you're going to have a problem. Or if you are sleeping in the bottom of a boat with a bag of gunpowder in your pocket and one of the soldiers accidentally drops a few hot embers onto your pants, you may wake up like Captain John Smith, having in it a bag of gunpowder take fire in your pocket. Yeah, I won't tell you the rest of the story, but if you want a little research, look up John Smith and his gunpowder accident. You'll have a lot of great stories to read. And all kinds of ideas. Some people even think it wasn't an accident. Fascinating reading. Well, have I gotten the point across that this weapon can be dangerous? It can be dangerous to the person who's trying to use it because of the burning match. Another problem with the matchlock musket: before you can fire it again, having fired it once, you're going to be standing here. If you pull the trigger a second time, nothing's going to happen. You have to take your match, put it back between your fingers, blow out anything burning from the last shot. By the time you've grabbed a hold of your priming flask, it's been about 5 seconds. And your Powhatan Indian opponent has already fired 1 arrow. So your job, by the way, is to keep track of the arrows, please. So I've just primed my weapon. How many arrows? That's 1. Now my flask is empty, as are my chargers, so I hope you'll pardon the use of a paper cartridge. It's a little modern. This is the one, this equipment should be on your desk. A little bit of powder in your pan. It's called priming it. Cover it up. Shake off the loose gunpowder. Blow off the loose gunpowder. With a burning cord in your left hand, do you leave gunpowder laying around on your weapon? No. That's a bad idea. So as I drop the butt of my weapon and cast it about, add another arrow. What's the count now? 2. Now I'm going to take my charger, open it, dump the powder down the barrel. As I draw out my scouring stick, another 5 seconds. What's the count now? 3 arrows. Bump the scouring stick against my chest, take a bullet out of my mouth, drop that down the barrel, and ram my charge. As I put away the scouring stick, add another arrow. Bring up your piece, poise your piece, handle your piece, take your match, blow the ashes off the end, and cock your match. If I take 5 seconds cocking my match, what happens? 5 arrows. And if I'm slow in doing the whole process, 6 arrows. 4, maybe as many as 6 arrows come at you while you're reloading. So many of you might be saying, why did the colonists use such a bad weapon? It's dangerous and slow to load. It seems the Indians would have the advantage. But the English have 2 big advantages. The musket can hit you from about 100 yards away, which basically means the Powhatan has to figure a way to get close enough to use his bow and arrow, because the bow can hit a man at 40 yards. So that's 60 yards. That's a problem. The other one is, if you shoot somebody with an arrow, they might shoot back. If you shoot somebody with a musket, the bullet does so much damage, they usually aren't able to fight anymore. So the destructive effect of the musket is superior. Which is going to scare the Indians more, by the way, arrows or bullets? You and I agree on that point. Oh, and by the way, this process of loading is about as hard to remember as tying your shoelaces. So I can teach you how to use this musket in about 6 days, rather than the years of practice it takes to make you good with a bow and arrow. So this is why the English like this weapon. I should point out to you, and when that match swings down, what will happen?
Boom.
Boom. Boom, exactly. So you want to get your ears ready for it, or your camera, whichever is more important to you. Present your case.